This is the newsroom.
This is the newsroom for Wednesday, December 4, 2024. We're broadcasting to you on E1 SKAR TV, NTN, and TARZEE TV in Bartica. In the headlines, more checks on the way as cash grants reach Region 9 residents.
Okay, I will tell you about the 100,000 grant. I'm very glad about this 100,000 grant. That will invest me to be by my things what I have right now.
Over 700 new businesses registered in 3 hinterland regions. Guyana could soon get injectable medication to help with HIV prevention. In the Spice Isle, Grenada, the Myristic Mountain is a must-visit. And in sport, Lahore Qalandars keep title hopes alive with victory over Victoria in Global Super League, and Guyanese athletes and coaches to benefit from training stint in India. With the news, I'm Vishani Raghavir. We're glad you can join us. A significant milestone was reached this week as 14,750 checks printed for residents of Region 9 who registered for the much-anticipated $100,000 cash grant. These checks have now been dispatched to the region for distribution starting Tuesday, with temporary banking facilities set up in remote villages to ensure that all residents can access the funds. Prime Minister Brigadier Retired Mark Phillips was on hand to witness the first wave of payments, fulfilling the commitment of President Irfan Ali. The cash grants announced by President Ali during his October 10 parliamentary address are part of a nationwide effort to inject some $60 billion into the pockets of Guyanese citizens. The full distribution of the cash grants is expected to be completed within the next few months countrywide. Here are some reactions from those who already benefited in Region 9.
Okay, I will tell you about the 100,000 grant. I'm very glad about this 100,000 grant. That will invest me to be by my things what I have right now. I have to buy my poultry, I have to buy pigs, I have to buy a little ducks and things I have to buy to a children choir. And I'm glad for this government that give me this 100 grant to buy my children choir.
There are many ways in which this initiative can benefit us. As was said, we can bank it, we can invest it, and most importantly, we can use it for the benefit of our children, grandchildren, great-grandchildren in the area of education.
First of all, I think we've been hearing so much of critics. I was saying yesterday to someone that you have to get constructive criticism, constructive recommendation of what you're going to do. Now, I feel that this initiative is a very good move made by the government to ensure that the people have a gift from the government for the Christmas holidays. That's how I feel about it.
For myself, I already know what I have in mind, right? And I think for the others, it will be doing good.
I think it's a step in the right direction towards development in the country. I do have some minor concerns about inflation because of the fact that most vendors choose to raise their prices whenever anyone receives any money. But besides that, I think it's a step in the right direction. Things could be better, but it's going to be better through the initiative.
For me, I would do the same. Like with my little business, I would invest in part of it and probably bank the rest. A lot of small business people would like to have this opportunity to make use, buy what they need, and to get something back as profit for their own everyday living.
Because for me, I am a single parent, and it would help to offset some of my expense at present. It would be a great help to a lot of people in Region 9 because one of the reasons they have a lot of young people that come off from school and they're not able to find jobs, because even though we have stores, there would not be a lot of employment, and so a lot of people is grateful for the cash grant at this time.
It's something good for the people, right? For those who have a small business, that it could turn over, so it's something real good.
Everything gonna work out for me now, coming on to Christmas, these times will be hard. As a family man with with 6 children, 4 of them going to school still, and as a man, I work alone and to maintain the family, and this come now, it will be good for the...
Well, this is Christmas time. At least everybody could be able to do something for the family. And yeah, I think it's a great thing.
More than 720 new small businesses were started up in regions 7, 8 and 9 in 2024. Minister of Tourism, Industry and Commerce, Onage Walron, disclosed this on Wednesday when she held an end-of-year press conference at the Arthur Young Conference Centre at Liliendal, Georgetown, to update the work of the ministry over the year so far. Walron said this number of new businesses is quite a staggering figure, and she was happy that the work of the ministry has been impacting so many lives positively.
It is 723 in the 3 regions, with a large number of that coming out of Region 9. Their businesses range agro-processing, services sector like barbershops, salons, people with small shops that if you go around, let them and go into the village, you'll find a lot of small shops. Those are the businesses that will be registered. These are small businesses who we're trying to get them regularized, and so they need like for instance, if they need support, to get support from the Small Business Bureau, you have to be a registered business. So they need a business registration, and that is usually done through the registry here in Georgetown. So what we have done, we've created hubs with support from the registry at Georgetown, the business registry, to get those regions we've had those amount of businesses.
We tell you now that pre-exposure prophylaxis, or PrEP for short, is a medicine used to reduce the risk of getting the human immunodeficiency virus, HIV. Though available in other forms, local health authorities offer PrEP as pills that should be taken daily. Guyana's Health Minister Dr. Frank Anthony at the weekend reminded people that efforts are being made to provide these oral pills all across the country to help persons at risk to get the protection they need. However, he said that efforts are being made to get an injectable form of PrEP that would last longer.
You have different forms of PrEP that we are offering depending on people's circumstances. We wanted to make sure that it is done across the country. Maybe there are more people who need to have access, and therefore the 5,000 and something persons who are currently on PrEP, maybe we can improve that if we increase access across the regions. And that is something that we have to continuously examine. We would also be able to change what PrEP looks like in the future, because people taking pills, and in some cases having to take them every day to prevent an infection, is not something that they would ideally do. And we know and we have seen the effective results coming out of injectable PrEP. And these have made a tremendous difference because adherence has gone up, and people would prefer to have this methodology being used. We currently do not have that, but in the near future, this is the direction in which we want to go.
Construction of the cutting-edge regional hospital at the number 75 village quarantine is progressing rapidly, with plans for the facility to open its doors by the second quarter of 2025. Minister of Health Dr. Frank Anthony made the revelation during a site inspection on Tuesday morning as part of his outreach to the East Berbice quarantine region. Dr. Anthony expressed confidence in the project's timeline and said that once complete, the hospital will boast modern amenities, including 2 operating theatres, a minor theatre, a delivery ward, and a 75-bed inpatient facility, a 24-hour accident and emergency unit, advanced imaging equipment, and round-the-clock laboratory services will further enhance the facility's capabilities, marking a new era of healthcare for the region.
So at number 75, we're making some progress. That's one of the hospitals we expect would be completely functional by the second quarter of next year. So we were able to examine the level of progress this morning, and we feel very comfortable that the contractor would be able to finish in time for us to operationalize the hospital by the second quarter. I visited Skeldon this morning, and then Port Morant, and then New Amsterdam Hospital. But it's really to do some spot checks to see how these facilities function, to see that patients are getting the care that they need, and to see whether or not the system is responsive enough. So I think having gone to the main institutions, I had a very productive meeting at New Amsterdam where we were able to reiterate with the staff our expectations about patient care delivery, and also some of the challenges that I saw and how we can improve that. So I hope, having had that very long and productive discussion, that we'll start seeing some improvement in the management of some of the facilities. So here at Bath, this is one of the hospitals that we expect would be completed by the first quarter of next year. And as you can see, the work is a little bit more advanced than that of number 75. They've been working on doing the tiling, and I expect that by early next month the ceilings would be in place as well. And there will be some other things that they'll be doing, and I guess by February we'll start seeing the installation of the equipment.
Minister of Human Services and Social Security Dr. Vindhya Prasad joined a group of accomplished graduates on Tuesday, celebrating their successful completion of the Youth Risk and Empowerment Program, run in collaboration with USAID. The program, aimed at strengthening systems to support at-risk youth, saw graduates from various agencies come together to mark their achievement. During the event, which also featured the U.S. Ambassador Nicole Terrio and USAID Country Representative Tiffany Daniels, several graduates shared their experiences, reflecting on the training and their hopes for the future. Dr. Prasad outlined the government's ongoing efforts to support the youth population, promising continued focus on empowering young people as part of a broader strategy to improve youth development and reduce risk factors.
And Althea said very clearly how she had already started to use the tools in her work and in her personal life and in her personal space. And I think when we are trained and when we are experienced in all of these interventional measures, it is important to not only use them when we are supposed to use them in the work way, but use them whenever we come into contact with young people. That's how we're really going to change their future, change their lives, and make the best impact, which means you're on duty 24 hours a day.
2023, USAID's Youth Resilience, Inclusion and Empowerment, or YRE program, trained more than 80 social service providers to help Guyana's youth when they need it most. They also received individual coaching and on-the-job follow-up support to improve their services to youth. Today, we recognize the accomplishments of an additional 55 officers who have completed similar capacity building sessions. These officers include caregivers at juvenile detention and holding facilities, guidance and counseling officers, youth officers, probation and child protection officers, and of course, community advocates.
As you step into this next phase, I know you're not graduating with a bachelor's, but we hope that you find that this is an important graduation. Remember that you're not just service providers, you're advocates, you're mentors, you're change makers. Each interaction you have with a young person has the potential to shape their path, heal their wounds, and ignite potential.
We tell you now that local fish researcher Devya Hemraj, a passionate member of the fish team that conducted an expedition in the Akarai Quarantine Corridor recently, couldn't be more excited to share the findings in the southern and most remote part of Ghana, revealing a whopping 50 new confirmed species of the 160 freshwater fishes that were found. At an event earlier this week to present the preliminary findings of the rapid biodiversity inventory done over a 20-day period by the Protected Areas Commission, the Field Museum of Natural History in Chicago, and numerous local Guyanese institutions, Divya shared the story.
For over 3 weeks, we used a bunch of different fishing gears to ensure that we capture as much fish species as we possibly could. From this, we yield 160 species of freshwater fishes. And from that 160 species, 15 are confirmed new species or new records for Guyana. Now, what's even more exciting is that 20 plus of those species that we collected are possibly new species to science. Of the 4 major drainages that we have in Guyana, we sampled 2 of the drainages. And we could possibly increase it to 3 drainages if we were to extend the corridor a few kilometers north to include the headwaters of the Berbice River. The Berbice River has a large amount of endemic species, meaning that the fishes there can only be found there and nowhere else. So by including all these 3 headwaters, we are preserving and protecting fish species that are only found in that part of Guyana. What also needs conserving is the local knowledge of the indigenous communities. These folks have been living in this area for many years, using fishes in the area as food fishes, and they have been doing so sustainably. They know exactly what gear type to use to capture certain species, and they know the location of where they could find all these fishes. They know their ecology, I would say, their biology. So their local knowledge needs to be conserved, recorded, and protected.
When the newsroom returns, we tell you about a must-visit mountain in Grenada and about the drag queen Priyanka, who is in Guyana to support the local queer community. Welcome back, this is the newsroom. Nestled in the forested mountains of Grenada, the Myristic Mountain is among the list of must-visit spots for persons, especially tourists who are trying to get a glimpse of what the island has to offer. Whether it's a trek in the trail to the mountain, bird watching, or even organic farming, the atmosphere captivates Grenada's riches. And to really get a taste of the spice isle, you must try the national dish, the oil dung. The newsroom's Sharda Bacchus and Jeremy Jagrup are in Grenada and captured the experience.
The Myristic Mountain is a natural destination in the parish of St. Patrick in the Spice Island of Grenada. In simple terms, it is one of the must-visit sites for persons exploring Grenada, looking to experience the natural beauty of the island. Come with me on a tour to the breathtaking Myristic Mountain.
Right, so we heading up to Myristic Mountain, where we just started with the tourism sector. We're bringing to people to get to know about the beautiful place of Myristic Mountains.
This serene location is enveloped by lush greenery and offers stunning panoramic views. Situated just over an hour from St. George's, the capital city of pure Grenada, the tranquility of the area allows you to disconnect from the hustle and bustle of daily life, providing a peaceful retreat to connect to nature.
The amount of lands that we have on the estate is 55 acres. Yeah, tourists should basically Myristic Mountain because of the natural nature of it. Creates a good environment for people to, socialize and, have fun. Yeah, it's very interesting. Makes you feel alive when you're being in Myristic. We have like the mono monkeys around. We have goats, domestic animals around, cow, Yeah, we have plenty of springs on the land.
Whilst here, persons can hike, indulge in bird watching, picnic, learn about organic farming, or simply encounter the vibrant flora and fauna. Also, why not take advantage of the opportunity to indulge in a salted meat and vegetable stew called oil dung, which is the island's national dish. The Myristic Mountain is among the first sites visited by a team of media workers and influencers who are currently here on a trip in Grenada. The trip is aimed at promoting pure Grenada as a tourism destination of the Caribbean, more so with direct flights now being offered between Guyana and Grenada twice weekly by Inter-Caribbean Airways. Reporting for the newsroom from Grenada, Sharda Bacchus.
Priyanka, a globally famous drag queen and pop star, is in Guyana this week, hoping to support the local queer community while on deer. In an interview with the newsroom, the drag queen opens up about venturing into this field, embracing her uniqueness, and what it means to be in her parents' homeland. Priyanka will be performing at the Theatre Guild in Kingston, Dorchong this Saturday at a drag show which will launch the 2025 Guyana Pride Festival and raise funds for the Society Against Sexual Orientation Discrimination, called SASOD.
I've been posting on TikTok and everyone is like, who is she? Who is this? People in Guyana don't know you. So I guess this is my moment to tell everybody. Well, first things first, I'm a man. I'm a drag queen from Canada. I won Canada's Drag Race. So Drag Race is a really big franchise all over the world. And they did a spin-off of the American version in Canada. And I competed in the first season. And I quit my kids' television job to do Drag Race. I started drag and I was like, whoa, this is amazing. I love it so much. I love to entertain people and sing and dance for people. And I won, which is crazy. No one thought I was gonna win. We thought it was gonna be the white person, but it ended up being the brown Guyanese boy from a small town in Canada. Because of that win, I became the first ever Indo-Caribbean or Guyanese person to ever win and compete on the franchise globally. Deciding to do drag was a difficult one because I never wanted to dress up like a woman. Because growing up, around Guyanese parents, the last thing you want to be is gay. And the last thing you could ever do to put shame on a family is to dress up like a woman, right? So I never thought about it ever, and I never wanted to do drag. I was always scared of drag queens because I didn't know, I don't know, they're just so rambunctious and so free, and I was like closeted and like, you know, in my family, it's always like, don't be loud, just be polite, go kiss all your aunties and say thank you and go home. And so drag is the polar opposite of that. It's like taking up all the space and being as loud as you can be and not caring. So I never ever thought of it until I, you know, started to come out of the closet and be more, you know, in touch with my sexuality. And when I started to go out to the drag performances in Toronto in Canada, I fell in love with it. I was like, oh, this is amazing. And then I had a drag queen who's my drag mother, because we're a family, right? The community's a family. Her name is Ecstasy Love, and she was like, oh, you should try drag. And I looked her in the eye and said, I would never dress up as a woman. That's embarrassing. And then she went, you'll see. And then the next day, I was like, maybe I should try this thing and see what happens. And then I tried it, and then I became Priyanka. I'm in a movie on Netflix right now called Meet Me Next Christmas. And I'm also a pop star. So you know Apple Music, they named me their like up next artist of the year. So I'm the first ever drag queen to be named this in North America. And it means that they believe that I'm gonna be the next big thing in music. So this is my first time ever being in Guyana. And I wanted to come because I just wanted to see what the queer community was like, and seeing where my parents grew up and introducing families to my boyfriend, and I would come to my drag show and seeing what their reactions are. Some of them don't care, but I would say like 60% of them are like, so when are you gonna find a girlfriend? And it depends on how old they are. You know, I'm like, oh, one day, or I have one, her name is Priyanka. I showed my gram, who used to babysit us, she moved back here. And I showed her a photo of me in drag, and I was like, oh, gram, this is my girlfriend. And she goes, me not like she. But it's been amazing to see where my parents have grown up, and you know, my grandparents are also from here, so close to my nanny, and she loves to sing, and that's why I like to sing too now, and seeing all that and seeing where my parents come up makes so much sense. It makes sense why Guyanese people are some of the most hardworking people in the world, because they are working hard. It feels surreal. It honestly feels surreal to be here. And hearing all these stories for 33 years about Guyana and back dam and this auntie, that auntie, and then meeting them all, it's amazing. It all started about a year and a half ago, where I said to my mom and my dad, I was like, I am going to Guyana to perform. I had no offer, I had nothing, I just wanted to. I don't know why, something came over me. I felt like online we share so many like, oh, donate to this cause and don't raise awareness for this, and there's so much onus that comes on to me. Like, why didn't you share that? Why didn't you do this? Like, you feel like you're not doing enough sometimes. And I was like, the only way that I'm gonna truly feel like I'm doing enough is to actually get my hands dirty and go down to Guyana and see what's going on here. You know, I did it with We're Here. I went to Oklahoma and Tennessee, and I helped out there, and I understood the queer community there. And literally the next month, I got a letter saying, hey, we want to invite you to be the international ambassador for Pride. And I was like, what? Guyana has a Pride? All of our reaction, I called everybody. I'm like, yo, Guyana Pride. Like, it's a thing. They're like, not in Guyana, there's no way. And then we Googled it, and they're like, there's a Pride here. And so, working with Joel Sasso and working on this event to just raise awareness and just show presence and just show that like the queer people can be entertaining, the queer people have a space. So many comments on my TikTok telling me to stay home. Don't come. Who are you? Go home. Stay in the cold, you know? And I'm like, no, I'm coming. Like at the end of the day, my parents are still from Guyana and I'm gonna come here. So that is it, like that showing people of Guyana that like me being here is actually about them. Like I leave after this, right? I go back home. They stay here. So the only reason I'm here is to make their homes more comfortable for them, if I can. And for them to show and be inspired that like the louder you are, the more loving you are to one another, the more change can happen in this world. I hope.
When the news returns to financial weather and bridge reports, along with sport news. Stay with us. Welcome back to the newsroom. Now for a look at what's happening in sport, and we start things off with some cricket news. Pakistan's Lahore Qalandars got their second win of the ExxonMobil Guyana Global Super League, which has added further intrigue in the race for the top 2 spots. 3 teams, Victoria, the Guyana Amazon Warriors and the Qalandars, are now tied on 4 points. Qalandars look down and out against the Australian side Victoria, who are 67 for 0 in 7.2 overs, chasing 140. But Tabraz Shamsi, 3 for 11, and Asif Afridi, 3 for 31, pulled it back in their favour on Tuesday evening. It puts added pressure on the Guyana Amazon Warriors, who must win their remaining prelim match against Bangladesh's Ragpur Riders on Wednesday from 19 hours. Skipper Carlos Braffett spoke after the 10-run victory.
This is the performance you guys was looking for tonight? This is the performance you guys was looking for tonight?
No, we weren't looking to not score enough runs and then have heart palpitations trying to win, but I think it's testament to the fight in the team. We got a lot of senior players and everyone shares information. There's a lot of respect on the field and there's a lot of belief as well. So even after the power play, it was all about just getting 1 wicket, getting another wicket, knowing that we can squeeze with our spinners. Tabraz Shamsi is one of the best in the world and he continues to prove why.
Except for 1 run out, almost all the wickets were bowled down. How do you think about the pitch tonight? How are you guys be able to just take everybody down just like that?
I thought you was going to ask about my run out. Yeah, the plan was to keep the stumps in play. We know that in white ball cricket, where spinners are very difficult. We have 2 of them in Wells and Shamsi. And whether it breaks left or right, we wanted to ensure that it continues to hit the stump. Asif is a fantastic bowler as well. First time I'm meeting him. And the belief that he gave me in him to throw him the ball at any point in time, whether it's right-hander or left-hander, and every time he gets the ball, he gets a wicket. So I just think the mantra has been for us, it's a difficult pitch to bat on, which is why we struggle to get big scores. And if we struggle, our batters, then we've got to ensure that the opposition batters struggle as well.
Carlos, this win basically opens up the tournament in terms of who makes the top 2. Quite a lot of interesting thing with 3 more preliminary matches remaining.
Yeah, I think it's been a fantastic tournament. Obviously, we've seen tournaments that you get 190, 200, and people chase it down, and that is entertaining as well. But also 130 and 140 being defended, going right down to the wire, I think is entertainment as well. So for the quality of the tournament, to have a super over, to have games go all the way down to the wire, albeit not the most fluent stroke play, but I think that it's created some real drama, some entertainment.
Yeah, world. What do you make of this one, and how do you see it blossoming in the future?
Yeah, I think it was difficult for the organisers, obviously, because they got a lot of tournaments on with it. This is the first year, so some of the teams maybe have B players and fill-in players and whatnot. But the good thing is that it probably gives a lot of exposure to those players, and I know that in the future, because of the quality of the cricket, the entertainment that we've seen on show, people will be putting this in the calendar at the back end of CPL or wherever it may move to as a tournament that you can play against other teams all around the world, something we're probably missing in franchise cricket.
Vanessa Adams and her grandson, Kristen Benjamin, had colourful face paintings representing their Amerindian heritage. Adams won the ENET Fan of the Match award for the best dressed spectator at Game 7 of the ExxonMobil Guyana Global Super League on Tuesday night. The award was a Samsung Galaxy A25 5G handset, compliments of ENET, your everything network.
I've managed to find Vanessa and Christian, the ENET Fan of the Match. Certainly a lot of color into this design here tonight.
Yes.
Tell us about the design that you actually put forward here tonight.
Oh, it's his Amerindian heritage costume that we just put together, and the girls did the face painting in front.
And how does it feel to be a winner? Compliments of ENET?
It feels good. We enjoying the game, we're having fun.
All right, our next match, our next winner. Ensure you're at the National Stadium for the Global Super League to be a winner with ENET.
Lizanne Halley was also a winner of a Samsung Galaxy A25 5G handset at Game 7 of the ExxonMobil Guyana Global Super League. The new phone comes at a perfect time, as Halley indicated her current one is not working. A similar phone is up for grabs for the ENET Fan of the Match award for the best dressed spectator.
Congrats, our winner tonight for this ENET phone. How do you feel about winning it?
I feel very excited. I wasn't coming tonight, but my friend encouraged me to come tonight. And I'm so excited to come to that. I win a phone from Enel, because my phone is working properly. So I win a new phone! Drop the net and win a phone.
Through the Ministry of Culture, Youth and Sport, the government has facilitated scholarships for Guyanese athletes and coaches to attend Jain University in India. The scholarship opportunities will see at least one player and coach from several disciplines undergoing varying stints at the university.
Stemming from the vision of overall student development, Jain provides facilities and encouragement for every sport that students find interest in. Exceptional talents are given adequate encouragement in their chosen sporting disciplines. Jain is one of the universities that is on board with the government's flagship Guyana Online Academy of Learning GOAL scholarship program, which offers thousands of Guyanese the opportunity to study at universities across the globe. Minister of Culture, Youth and Sport, Charles Ramson Jr., made the disclosure at the recent National Sports Commission Awards.
Based on the agreement that we have and the understanding that we have with Jain, and I would like to take the opportunity to congratulate Jain, but also thank them as well, that based on what you experience, you are going to be paving the way for the possibility of many more athletes going to this university. It's a fantastic opportunity. Fantastic opportunity. The good news today is that you have WhatsApp, so your parents could still check up on you. So that's good to know. So maybe some of you might not want that too much. But it's also, I know it's nerve-wracking for some parents as well, but just know that as government, we're also going to be staying in touch with them to make sure that everything goes the way that it's supposed to go and give them that support at all times. So we want to congratulate you. This is a huge achievement for you, but it's also a huge achievement for the country. And it's the first time that this has happened, but it's the potentially the first of many more to come. Our athletes have done so well in the country. We had set a target this year for 161 medals for international and regional medals. That's what we had set our target for. To date, we have achieved over 500 medals.
Among the athletes and coaches that are shortlisted to travel to India are badmintons Frank Joseph and Nathan Waddell, who are players, and Akil Haynes, a coach. From basketball, Warren Wilson, a coach, and in cricket, Zainal Ramsamy, a player, and Quason Ned, a coach. From swimming, it is Paul Mahaika Jr. and Shanice Mahaika, while from table tennis, Christian Sahadio, a young player, and Nigel Bryan will be the coach.
For the 5th year in a row, Ansa McCall Trading, via its globally recognized Lucozade brand, has confirmed its alliance with the Petra organization as a partner for the upcoming KFC International Goodwill Football Series. At a simple ceremony at the entity's main office as Betavo acting East Coast Demerara, officials of the Petra organization and Ansa McCall spoke on the partnership, which continued to significantly enhance the profile of the tournament.
Ansa McCall Trading has been a long-standing partner of the Goodwill Series and by extension the Petra organization, led by directors Troy Mendonza and Marlon Cole. The significance of that alliance was further underscored on Wednesday morning following the renewal of support for the upcoming KFC International Goodwill Series.
We at Petra, we are very happy to have the Ansa McCall Trading Lucozade brand once again joining with us to deliver this the 5th annual Goodwill Series football competition. And as you know, that we've grown to 8 teams, 1 from Jamaica, 2 from Trinidad and Tobago, 1 from Suriname, our 2 hinterland teams, and our 2 teams that just completed our league tournament. And that in itself represents growth, and it is because of support like these allow us to be able to move from 4 teams to 8 teams. And also it gave the opportunity for these youngsters to display their talent and provide a safe environment and space for them to express themselves. And so once again, we're very happy to have on board with us our answer my call to its Lucozade brand for the continued relationship. On behalf of myself and co-director, we would like to say a big thank you.
On behalf of Answer McCall and mainly through the Lucozade brand, this is something that a tournament that we believe in. Reasons behind it: international school tournament give our youths an opportunity to play with some of the best in the Caribbean and around the region, and give them that international exposure. So it was a no-brainer for us, the Lucozade brand and Answer McCall, to join forces with Petro to aid and support this tournament.
Set for an exciting kickoff on Sunday, December 15th at the Queen's College Ground in the city, the tournament is set to feature schools from Jamaica, Suriname and Trinidad and Tobago facing off with their Guyanese counterparts. From the local end, Chase Academic Foundation, Dolphin Secondary, DC Caesar Fox, or formerly Warramadong Secondary, and Anai Secondary are set to defend home turf. They will face stiff competition from reigning champions Clarendon College of Jamaica, St. Benedict's College of Trinidad, Speyside High School of Tobago, and Henry Hassan Khan Community High School of Suriname. Clarendon College played unbeaten to win the Goodwill title in 2023, defeating St. Benedict's College 2-1 in the final. Reporting for Newsroom, I'm Avanash Ramzan.
And with that, we've come to the end of this evening's newscast. Of course, you can find these and other stories at our website, newsroom.gy, and across our social media pages, Newsroom Guyana. On behalf of the news and technical teams, I'm Vishani Raghaber. Thank you for joining.